Real quick, let's go ahead and get 2024 started with a video that nobody asked for, and it's late as hell, but I still wanted to get it done. That's gonna be my top 10 of 2023, man. So yeah, let's get this video started. All right, guys, this is going to be my top 10 of 2023, as I mentioned before. Now, before we get the video started, I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to all my subscribers of 2023, man. We actually made it to 100 subscribers right before the end of 2023. So I'm really grateful for that. And I just wanted to go ahead and say thank you to you guys real quick. I appreciate you guys. I never thought I would have 100 people wanting to hear me talk about toys, take my pictures and kind of break down my shots and just, go through my everyday collection, So appreciate you all. It's really awesome. I have 100 subscribers. It might not be a lot to some people, but it means a lot to me. Thank you guys. All right, guys. So let's hit the ground running, man. These figures you guys have in front of you are going to be the honorable mentions. Kind of the parameters for this was, were they reissues? Were there kind of like figures that were just kind of repaints? And stuff like that, man. And some of them just didn't make the cut. Just the top 10 just tend to be better figures than, in my opinion, than these. And don't get me wrong, man. These are being mentioned because, in my opinion, these are the top of the top as well. Any of the top 10 spots, each one specifically could have replaced one of my top 10s. And I just think these figures are great. But I think in order to keep it as unbiased as possible, or as new as possible, I try to weave out anything that was pretty much, like I said, a reissue, a repaint, or just kind of, the same body mold, if I'm being honest. And overall, it just didn't make the cut. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the top 10. All right, guys. Now, the three rules I had for setting up my top 10 were pretty simple, man. The first one was fun factor. Was the figure fun? Did I pick up the figure a few times just to mess around with it? Were the accessories fun? Was this figure just overall a good enjoyment, a good experience for me? Sometimes we're just kind of hanging out, just kind of, doing our thing, and we decide to just pick up a random figure from the shelf, man, start messing around with it, posing it. That's what fun factor is all about. Now, my second parameter I had for this was the figure on the shelf. I didn't want to have any figure that I thought was cool, but then I put it in, I put it back in the box, or I put it, away, I store in storage, anything like that, because you want to have figures you want to look at all the time. Those are what the best of the best are, right? And you want to have figures that you just had on your shelf. And the third parameter is anticipation versus delivery. How much anticipation did I have for that figure, and did it deliver on my expectations? So yeah, those were the parameters, and let's get started with the top 10. All right, guys, kicking off the number 10 is going to be the NECA Mirage Comics TMNT 4-pack. And to represent the turtles here, I got Leo, man. What can I say? This figure was awesome, and definitely a well-deserved spot number 10. Now, if you guys follow my Dynamic Saturday episodes, you guys already know I had a few gripes with this figure. It's kind of the reason why they're at number 10. But I'm here to focus kind of what I love about the figure more than the negative. So the main thing why this guy landed at number 10 is because of the look, man. It's just that layered look that, we were asking for so long, man. And me personally, it represents, or it reminds me of the 2004, Turtles, man, and that design that Laird was really involved with. So overall, just anticipation was through the roof. I had anticipated this figure so much, man, that I actually went out and trying to hunt for it. Something I haven't done in a while for a domestic figure, man. I actually went to a few Targets looking for this guy, and eventually I found him, man, and I just had a blast. It kind of impressed me just because it's NECA. I've never really considered to be a NECA collector myself. I just had a really bad experience once with some NECA figures, and it kind of killed my vibe for NECA, you know, just the whole QC issue. But this guy right here, man, no QC issue at all. I'm just in love with these figures, man. Like I said, the articulation could be better. Also, it was a little bit, the anticipation was crazy. It was a little bit of disappointment because of the articulation, but you also had to be realistic and see what we could expect from these guys. So overall, number 10 here, man. The paint application, even though the articulation was a little lacking, I couldn't drop this figure. I just, the fun factor was there. And just know the anticipation was a little crazy. I think that's what kind of brought it down to number 10, in my opinion. Just how much I was looking forward to these guys, just because of the whole design and, getting the NECA turtles again after we had for a while. And I never really got the knockoffs of the old school ones. But the fact that I was able to, land these guys, and just the comic look and just the overall line is amazing. And I think NECA killed it with these guys, man. The articulation is there. For the most part, paint job is there, the anticipation was there, and just overall fun factor and a permanent spot. 9. Alright guys, now for number 9, we got the Marvel Legends Black Widow. Now what can I say, man? Trying to be as unbiased as possible. Even though I wanted it to be Cap for the Marvel Legends, I have to say it was Black Widow, man. Now, at first, I wasn't super anticipating this figure. I'm not the biggest fan of Black Widow as a character. Though when they announced that we were gonna get a super articulated female body, man, the anticipation rose a little higher. But once I received it, that's when everything changed, man. And she earned her top spot in my top 10. I think the body that we got is amazing. Super articulated, man. The fun factor went through the roof. Adding on to that, all the fun factor of the extra head sculpts, extra accessories, everything this figure came with. There's nothing you can really say that any Marvel Legends has really topped this, man. I just don't believe it. The way she just articulates so well, man. She's so fun to play with. She's just an overall amazing figure. Even for a character you may not be the biggest fan of, I think it just works, man. It just does what it needs to do, and she definitely killed it, man. This new body mold needs to be incorporated into every female Marvel Legends now, man. Like the way she has double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, the diaphragm plus the ab crunch in there. It's just everything works, man. And the idea that they give you so many options to create so many different versions of her, whether it's Earth's Mightiest Heroes, you can do an ultimate Black Widow, you can do a classic Black Widow, like all modern Black Widow, like all these options are there, man. And this thing just definitely kills it when it comes to Marvel Legends. And yeah, I mean, what else can I say, man? This figure is just overall fun, and just the aesthetic, the head sculpt is probably the best head sculpt I've seen in a while for Legends. Like everything about this figure definitely killed it. Even though you're not a Black Widow fan, this definitely earns the number 9 spot in my top 10, man. This thing is just fun factor through the roof, and just she earned a permanent spot in my display for the Avengers. So yeah, perfect contender for number 9. 8. All right, guys. Now moving on to number 8. It's going to be the Rebel Tech My Hero Academia Hawks. What can I say, man? These figures are fucking amazing. You're gonna hear me say that thing a lot, but dude, this guy was just, anticipation was through the roof, delivery was mostly awesome, and permanent display for sure. Now let me tell you, the main reason why this guy earns a number 8 spot in my top 10 are these wings, man. These wings right here are just something else, man. The way they articulate, the way they move, they feel amazing. I think every company should incorporate this style of wings if they're gonna have wing characters. Just the amount of options you have for articulating this guy, and the wings, how they move, they're so expressive, and it's just so many options you get, man. When it comes to this design for wings is just amazing. Yamaguchi, Rebel Tech just killed it, man. They just designed the shit out of this, and I love it. Like there's no sugarcoating this. This guy is great. Now the only reason why he earns the number 8 spot is because of the accessories. As you guys know, sometimes Rebel Tech will do mostly paper accessories, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. They also will do They had a bunch of accessories like the effect of him throwing his wings, shooting his feathers, sorry, and his swords. But they were a little loose, man. The pegs were a little loose, not the figure itself, but just the pegs in the hands, the pegs on the wings and the swords. The accessories kind of was disappointment, and that kind of affected the whole anticipation thing. Even though Hawks is one of my favorite characters from My Hero Academia, and just when they introduced him, man, it's just the bias here of like, the character, but at the same time, it's just how he articulates, man. Like, it's Rebel Tech technology with some great wings that I think should be implied everywhere, and I think the sculpt is just great, man. Like the way these things, like those ball joints, man, you can do anything with these wings. There's nothing you can't do. Like, you want to put them in the defensive position, flying position, fighting position, everything can be done with these wings, man. And if every like company incorporated this kind of design in their wings, their wing characters would be just amazing. And I think that's what's here. So definitely anticipation through the roof. A little disappointed when delivered, kind of brought it down. Fun factor through the roof. I couldn't put this guy down. The wings are just so much fun to play with, and he definitely earned a permanent display, under My Hero Academia shelf. So definitely this guy earns a spot as a number 8.
7.
All right, guys, moving on to number 7. It's going to be the MDLX Transformers Megatron from 3-0. Man, this guy was big anticipation, man. After getting, Bumblebee, Optimus, Cliff Jumper, I knew I needed to start getting some villains up in here, man. And Megatron being the first one was just perfect. What can I say? Metallic finish, beautiful, man. Articulation, great. This thing just feels heavy, like the whole way it looks, how it, like the lights reflect off the shiny metallic, man. I love the whole modernized design of it. Some people weren't the biggest fan, but I definitely love this, man. And Megatron is just one of those epic baddies that you just need to have in your collection. Well, I was trying to collect at one point the Masterpiece line. It was just too big and expensive for me to kind of keep going with those. And for Transformers, which it's not that big of a deal for me. I know it is for some people, but for me, this guy definitely earns a spot as number 7, man. Just he articulates amazingly. Like, there's no, like, this guy's just great, man. The only kind of issue I have that kind of brings it down is that he is a little difficult to post the legs. He feels sturdy, but the thing is, he also has, like, I don't know how to explain. Like, I'm afraid to scratch it, man, and it kind of kills away from the fun factor. So definitely this guy earned like a spot. And there you go. The tabs also, man. The tabs kind of get in the way when it comes to, where'd it go? There you go. The tabs kind of get in the way when it comes to articulating this figure. But, even though, he has those little things that get in the way, just the articulation, it feels heavy, it has die cast in it. Just the overall presentation of a modernized look, but still kind of keeping those classic designs. And, anticipation, as I said, through the roof, it definitely delivered. It looks beautiful. It looks great on my permanent display. Permanent display, definitely past that. Where it kind of lacks is articulation, but not because it lacks articulation, but it's because of the design itself of the character. Like, the heels are a little difficult to work with. He feels a little heavy when kind of trying to articulate. And then, big issue with MDLX is just the tabs. So other than that, definitely earns a spot, a number 7 in my top 10. It's going to be Megatron, baby.
6.
Alright, guys, at number 6, it's his ninja way, and you better believe it, Naruto Uzumaki from SHF. What can I say, man? I wasn't really anticipating this figure. I barely started, checking out the show. So it's really, really impressive for me that I actually got this guy on my top 10. And I think he definitely deserves it, man. Maybe it is a little bit biased from having the show fresh in my mind, but just the anime is so great, man. But this figure is even better. Just overall fun factor, man. That was the big one. Anticipation was low when I got it. I was happy to have him, but I wasn't, super, excited to like rip into him at first. But just the figure itself is amazing, man. Scratch that. I was excited to rip into him, but I wasn't expecting him, I guess is the right word. And I think this figure definitely killed it where it deserves. I wasn't expecting it comes with so many accessories, including, his, nine-tail form. That thing, he looks great. It just works for me. He comes with a Rasengan, which was also really great. I'm new to the Naruto line, so I don't really have any of the older versions, but this Kid Naruto, man, is something else. It's just so much fun factor, man. And just overall articulation, like he can hit those poses. You don't need to look further for a really fun figure, man. Like this guy just hits everything, and he definitely beat the Sasuke in this line, man. This is if you're gonna get one figure, this is the one to get. He definitely earned a permanent spot in my display. His articulation is just through the roof. And accessories just fun factor, man. And while it was cool that like I wasn't really anticipating him as much, I think he definitely earned his spot as number 6. It's just such a fun figure, man. I'm repeating myself and going in circles, but that's much. What else can I really say? You guys check out how many pulses he can hit. Like this man is just this figure. I mean, it's just something else, and it's just ultimate fun. Just a real nice figure just to have on the side while you check out the anime. Awesome. Alright guys, at number 5, the first boy wonder himself, first Robin, Nightwing. What can I say, man? Anticipation for this figure was through the roof. When they announced Nightwing or the Hush line, the community lost it, man. We all wanted this figure so bad. Not because, obviously because there's a lot of fans of Nightwing. Well, and, to a lot of people, he's the best character in all of DC. Well, my character is more of a Batman. I just think the figure came out amazing, man. The anticipation was crazy. It met anticipation, with flying colors. The articulation is just spot on. The sculpt is great, and he definitely has a permanent spot in my Hush display. He is most definitely earned the number 5 spot in my top 10. Overall, just the big issues that kind of bring it down, in my opinion, is just a little bit of paint imperfections on mine, a weird neck that a lot of people don't tend to agree with me, but I still believe he has a little bit of a long neck. And for me, just a few accessories had a little bit of quality issues. Just, something standard for MAFEX nowadays. But overall, MAFEX has definitely stepped the game up enough for me to put this guy at number 5. Just the overall fun factor on this guy is crazy, man. I remember when I first got him, I couldn't put him down. And while, like I said, he's not my favorite character when it comes to the Bat family, or, DC overall, obviously. But I just think that it's just a great figure, man. The posing is so fun. What can you not do with this guy? It's definitely MAFEX quality when it comes to articulation, just overall, just fun factor, and just a good character, and so photogenic, man. Just when I take pictures of this guy, it's just so fun how the lights reflect off that shiny black suit, and just it is definitely hard to make an all black suited with a little bit of a blue highlight character stand out, and MAFEX was just able to do it, man, with the different types of shiny blacks and matte blacks. I'm having a little trouble right here balancing them. Just everything overall definitely plays into this character, and he just definitely earns the number 5 spot in my opinion, man. MAFEX has the DC, corner of imports definitely down, man. So definitely enjoying this figure. Earned it number 5. 4. Alright guys, at number 4 we have the MEZCO 112 Superman, the newest version, man. And this thing was a much needed update, not just only because I missed the first Superman, but because this figure became a whole new thing, man. This thing looks amazing, a great upgrade, great head sculpt, fun factor through the roof, so many accessories, way beyond what you would expect needed for a Superman, and they delivered. So many heads, so many accessories, just options on top of options, and that's what fun factor is all about. And on top of that, man, the anticipation for this guy was crazy. Not only because we needed an updated Superman bad, but because we needed, for those that missed, to complete the Trinity, man. We had Batman, we had Wonder Woman, and then we definitely need an upgraded Superman. The head sculpt is a miles on top of the original. Great stuff. We get a wired cape, which is amazing. And the suit itself, man, what else can you ask for? If you guys own the MEZCOs, if you guys own this video, you guys know what I'm talking about. This new suit that MEZCO has been using, it literally feels so dynamic, man. I'm not afraid to pose this figure, man. It's just so easy to pose because of the texture they're using. It's a great design of texture. It's just an overall great choice, man. And I think they definitely killed it with this Superman. I mean, what else is to say? I guess what keeps it low is just I'm a bigger fan of the other characters on top of this list. But this guy definitely earned a number 4, and in my opinion, beat any other MEZCO this year. It's just, for me personally, this guy was anticipated because I'm a DC fan, man. I'm a big DC fan, and I needed to complete my MEZCO DC Trinity, and this Superman was the last step to do that. So standing there, it's going to be my number 4, and it's going to be the MEZCO 112 Superman, man. The new texture on the suit kills it. Fun factor through the roof. Accessories, fun to play with. I couldn't put this guy down. I just wanted to put him in posing, posing him all day, flying poses, fighting poses, everything. You could do it with this guy. And he definitely earned as the main piece next to my Batman on my DC display. So yeah.
3.
Alright guys. At number 3. And if you guys watch Dynamic Society, you already know how big of a fan I am of this character. At number 3, we have the SHFIGUARTS Obi-Wan Kenobi series Darth Vader. And man, has he rightfully earned the number 3 position on this top 10. The only reason the other two beat this figure is because I couldn't decide between the 3 of them, and that was the way I decided. So let's just get past that and get into this number 3, man. This Vader is definitely an upgrade all around from any SHF Vader, any Black Series Vader, even the MAFEX Vader. And I'm willing to die on that hill. We can go ahead and argue in the comments. We can talk about it, discuss it. I don't care, man. I'll go toe to toe with you, and I will defend this Vader. We get an upgraded cloth all around, cloth cape, wired, articulated, wired, skirt, it goes all the way up. You get 2 head sculpts, man. You get the battle damage and the regular head sculpt, and that battle damage is something we've been asking for the longest. I wanted that battle damage head so bad that I was willing to buy the Black Series that only came with the 1 head. Because this head is iconic, man. You see it in shows, you see it in comics, Dark Horse comics, video games, Force Unleashed. But battle damage Vader is iconic. I didn't change his chest piece, but he even comes with an extra chest piece to represent that battle damage he had during the show. And just overall paint is better, better than the New Hope SHF. The shine is just perfect. His helmet is supposed to be shiny. His gloves are supposed to be shiny. Overall, this figure is immaculate. And then, yes, I am biased because I am a Vader fanboy. But this guy, I still believe, is the best Vader you can get in 6-inch form. This guy is amazing, man. Nothing contenders against him. There's nothing. You put up whatever Vader version you want, and I will go toe to toe. I do believe that this is the better version. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a reason he's at number 3. He does have a little bit of gripes that are coming on my SHF Vaders. One is that the cape doesn't sit perfectly. Ideally, the screen accurate Vader, he had the cape tucked into the helmet. You can't really do that because of the wire. It kind of bunches up around the neck. That's fine. I can look past that. Now, the other issue that is really coming amongst Vaders, I'm not too sure about MAFEX. Black Series kind of has those issues too, is that he can't hold his lightsaber perfectly. You kind of have to finagle it and mess around with it to get a good grip. But I think that's just the design of Vader's blade. But overall, man, this guy is just the perfect Vader, and you guys definitely need to have it in their collection. A rifle number 3, man. What can I think? It is an amazing figure. Number 3 spot earned. Fun factor through the roof. Just permanent display definitely in my Imperial display, shelf. He definitely stays. And the anticipation when this guy was announced, every Vader fan needed him. so bad that he was sold out for so long. It made it so difficult for me to get him. But I got lucky. I sniped him, and now I have him in my collection. Alright guys, now making our way to the top 2. Right here we have the SHFIGUARTS Dragon Ball Z Legendary Super Saiyan Goku. You guys should have known this was coming already, man. I am probably my bread and butter for me. As far as it comes to a main collection, it would be the Dragon Ball series. And having this guy in my collection, this legendary, no pun intended, this just epic, unforgettable scene from the anime was just, it was just needed, man. I mean, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you understand that this figure was just it. You couldn't miss it. And man, did I fight tooth and nail to make sure I got this guy. And he was worth it, man. At first I wanted to put Orange Piccolo as number 2. I just had such a great fun factor with that figure, but this guy just slightly took it out of the way. Accessories is great, the articulation is great, just it's that bulky look we all love seeing, man. When Goku first transformed as a kid, I remember just seeing his physical representation of him just turning into a Super Saiyan, and just seeing how like it's just, you guys know what I'm talking about, man. This thing, just that battle with Frieza, everything about that Namek saga is epic, and you can't go wrong with this right here, man. This thing is just great. It brings nostalgia. It's 100% biased, and I don't care. This is my number 2 on my top 10, man. Fun factor is there. Hands, different head sculpts, you know, different hairs, just creating epic scenes from that battle with Frieza. And I can't wait for the 100% Frieza to come in, man, just to complete my display. And this guy definitely replaces the Awakening Goku we had, or you know, before, kind of from that same saga. This guy, head sculpt, display, like everything has been an upgrade for this guy, man. And you guys, if you guys own this figure, you already know I'm a sucker for battle damage. Just everything around the sculpt on this guy is crazy. Articulation is crazy. The fact that he's so bulky and he's able to move like he does makes it such a fun figure, man. So like I said, fun factor to the roof. I couldn't put this guy down. I have so many ideas for photography for this guy. You know, anticipation was crazy. The whole Dragon Ball fandom, when it came to the SHF line, knew they needed this guy. That's all you need to know. And number 3, permanent display. It took out one of my favorite Gokus from my display for him to replace it. He definitely earned a perfect spot in my display. So I think he rightfully earns the number 2 spot on my top 10. The legendary Super Saiyan Goku. 1. Alright guys, now the figure we've all been waiting for, and something that honestly kind of surprised me as well. My top figure of 2023, my number 1, is going to be the SHFIGUARTS Chainsaw Man, Denji Man in his Chainsaw Man form. Wow, was this figure, the reason I put this figure as number 1, man, is because it was a figure I was not anticipating at all. I was anticipating, I'm not gonna say because I did purchase a figure, but it was a figure that I was excited for, but it definitely blew my expectations out of the water, man. I was not expecting for SHF to do such a great job on this figure, man. And it's just an overall great figure, man. The way I kind of described it when I talked about this figure was kind of like a mix of SHFIGUARTS meets Rebel Tech, and they killed it with the articulation, man. What can I say? It's just, even though, I mean, I checked out the anime this year, it was great anime, just such a fun anime, but even that, man, like, this thing was able to beat my love for Dragon Ball this year. Like, just the fun factor on this figure, the ability to switch out like the mouth and kind of have with the tongue out, no tongue, you know, the simple things, the little things that this figure came with, man. Just the overall, just ability to put on different displays, how articulate it is, how you can cross the arms completely. The fun factor was just there, and it was such a surprise that it stayed with me through the whole year, man. I'm pretty sure it was an early release if I remember correctly, but this thing stayed with me through the whole year. That's how good this figure is, man. It feels great. It feels sturdy. The little details that you can switch out to get a new, new look. Just everything about this figure is just great, man. I still need to catch up on the Chainsaw Man line, but just overall, this design is great. I What can I say, man? I fell in love with it. This is my number one of 2023 Chainsaw Man. It's just an overall kind of love letter to what SHF is capable of when they really put their mind to it, and their engineering and just their just kind of their innovation they can bring to a character that's literally in like slacks and a tie and a dress shirt, and they just kind of like found a way to make it look good but at the same time articulate crazy, man. You guys probably seen extra reviews of this guy, so I don't have much to say about it, but just know that this is my number one top 10 of 2023. All right, guys, those were my top 10 of 2023. I do want to apologize real quick for the beginning of the video about the first five figures that I had. I did have a little bit of an audio distortion, but I did fix that. I want to apologize about that now. But if you made it to the end of the video, I want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you guys checking out the top 10 of 2023. Check out my Instagram at FutureRick97 also. And check out my channel, man. If you guys enjoy figure photography and just a little bit of figure blogging, I do that in a few episodes. And yeah, man, I appreciate you all. I am still working on Dynamic Saturday. I believe it's either episode 9 or 10, or 1 or 2. But I just want to say I appreciate you all, man. And yeah, thank you for watching. Catch you guys later.